Hey, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. So the only shorts that I had was on XRP as the majority of the shorts. It's looking good. And the Bitcoin long from Friday? Yeah. Yeah, looking good. First PT, second PT. Same level. It's only a quick stream. I don't have I'm just taking profits and doing something. We're gonna have like an hour or two, and then we're gonna GG. Maybe 2 hours. How many slots today? Some standard stuff. I post the link in the chat like always. Oh, the Twitch figures in there. What? Yes, if he holds this, if he holds continuation, then you know. If he doesn't, then you know. Dot dot dot. Last streams was a Friday stream. We talked about this long. Obviously, you know it's in the VODs and everything. You just go and check. And I explained why and the reasoning and everything. I already did that. It was a good long, worked out. Both PTs got hit. So. ADA, the last big ADA trade was this one, yeah. Since then, nothing really interesting. I mean, it did do the pop off between these ranges, don't get me wrong, but it did do that, but it's pretty much the same range over and over again. It's the same, and it's the same hit of the red box, which is here. Now, obviously, this time it went a little higher, but overall, it was the same fucking trade. Mm-hmm. So, you, if what you're saying is, do I still trade decent capital for money or contracts? Yes. Mm. BIMX, yeah, I still do the BIMX stuff. I mean, we don't really. It's not really market. It's not really market making or market maker. Um, it's just volume jobs, dude. It's just, but from what you're saying, yes, because it's a difference. Because nowadays, some exchanges have actually hired market makers to create liquidity for their exchanges. That wasn't the case, let's say, like a year ago. Not at the same rate, anyway. So nowadays, they're actually hiring people because there's been a huge decrease in volume overall in the crypto markets, right? Um, Huge decline comparatively to, let's say, a year or 2 years ago. So there's actually jobs you can categorize as a but it's not your money. It's the exchange's money. You do like a salary job or a small contract job, which is very different. So that terminology has been watered down a lot recently, unfortunately, or fortunately, whatever. And if you apply for the job and if you get it, it's a good job to have for people who are the entry level. There's a lot of restrictions, so it's not really great, but it's okay. I guess I'm quite new to trading. I'm looking for what fellow traders generally think about trading meme coins. Um, I mean, we don't really discuss trading meme coins specifically. We just trade whatever. We just trade whatever has a chart. We trade it. If it looks good, we trade it. Doesn't matter if it's a meme coin, not a meme coin. Now, obviously, it will whether it's tradable or not is determined by where it is in the exchange. Because the bigger question is it liquid or not, right? Rather than is it a whatever it is or not. So that's the main questioning rather than is this a meme coin? Should I be trading it? Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Just do the beginner stuff and then just do the basic price action stuff and then start from then onwards. Don't be asking about meme coins because that way people will get a understanding of oh god damn it, here comes another 80 IQ dude from the depths of the internet, right? Just trade whatever you can to make money. Doesn't matter what it is. All right, we hit the red box again on the Ethereum. USD EUR. Did I see it? Has everything changed on this? I mean, like today. This is the one. Yeah, I mean, we talked about this level last week. And I'm assuming on the other side, obviously, it did the opposite of this, which is a pump, right? Yeah, we talked about this last week. Because the trade was that from, not last week, this is from like May, but this was last week. Actually, it might have been from here, from 8th of July or 9th of July, to be fair. It might not have been from last week. It might have been from the week before. Or whenever this, like 2 weeks or 3 weeks before. It might have been from here when we talked about the short, waiting for it to come down to these levels. Because it did it again, right? Lost it, tested it, came down, lost it, tested it again, right? Did it twice. So it might have been here or like might have been last week. Either way, it's the same thing. If it was last week, it probably would have been Tuesday. So yeah, pretty much when we were right here. Haven't looked at the DAX in a while. I looked at the DAX. Yeah, nothing's really changed on the DAX, dude. Last time, that long, and yeah. This is the Is this the Trump thingy panic? Yeah. Oh no, Trump is ruining the market. Oh god. And then we're just like, we just bought everything up. It was great. Yeah. Yeah, nothing's really changed. Technically it has, do I want to say it has lost the daily? It has definitely lost the 4 hour. I don't want to say it has lost the daily because it technically hasn't. Because it technically hasn't lost this range, which is what the daily is. It has gone below it, but it hasn't closed below it, right? So yeah, where are we looking to add on the ETH long? To re-add on the ETH long, I'm looking to go at 3K. That's because most of my longs are from here, here, and here, which is where you're supposed to. Like now, yeah, like no, there's yeah. I'm not necessarily. I'm not even looking at any re-ads opportunities for Ethereum right now. All I'm looking at is if it starts losing levels, I'm going to short it. That is the only thing I'm looking at on Ethereum. I'm not necessarily looking at refills. I have because I have more than enough longs on Ethereum. I don't need more longs. So if it does start losing levels, I will be looking at shorts because it's going to play the both directions. Remember last week you had a box on Bitcoin at 118 215, but now it's gone. 118 215. This one? I haven't, this hasn't changed. Like here, here, and here it was. I mean, this wasn't there. It was like here, because yeah. Yeah, it's this level. I mean, it doesn't really matter, right? So the last Friday trade was this one. To here was your first. You can skip that one and go straight to that one for your second PT. It doesn't really matter. The Tron stock. Wait, what is this? Okay, what the fuck is this? I haven't charted this, dude. I don't. At least I don't. No, I haven't charted this. Good pump. Um. See what we do with here, and then maybe even potentially low. It is holding though, so I think the better way to play this would probably be see if it loses this range here. You see that range? That range? See if it loses that, and then expectation, something like that. It's probably the safer way to play this. But if you have a long on it, nice. Just put your stop loss here or whatever. Definitely take some profits at this range, because technically it has loss levels, but it's also holding. So it's a little bit of a 50-50. So you're gonna have to wait for it to either lose again or just keep holding on. Okay. Is VIX finally? Yeah, finally. Mm-hmm. 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 Natty? If, okay. Last time we looked at Natty, natural gas was April. Yeah. So that was the last trade, and then the long, and then since then I haven't really looked at this thing. This level is important because of the long that we had from here and here, which we finally closed on. And the short, and then after that I haven't really looked at this, so it's been a while, 3 or 4 months. So um I mean, there's nothing really interesting on natural gas except see what it does at that level, really. Until he regains that, continuation down, I would say. There are untested levels on the downside. And if it does gain above it, you're looking for it to retest the failure, which is here. So there's two plays. Wait, lose, short, wait, gain, test, bounce. Those are the only two plays on Nachi that I can see anyway. Gonna check. Yeah, Sophie still look good. Yeah, Terex long still looks good. I mean, we have longs on Terex since like 0.07s, 0.0, 0.07s and 0.1. So, yeah, I have PTs all the way to here. See if he does it. So it should be 10x. We'll see. I mean, it's not quite 10x. It's like 9.5. But, The highest PT? No. It's just 10x. I always PT some at 10x. What's my highest? I don't really have a highest PT on anything really because I never really fully close stuff. I mean, I don't see the need to. It's a spot long. Why should I? No? What level does Ethereum have to hold? Pretty much here. Yeah, pretty much here. This low. The important for me personally is the this one. This is where I have majority of my money. Because if Bitcoin goes up, I make more money in terms of fiat, right? But if Ethereum goes very much against, because right now, Bitcoin, went up, since here, like April the 14th, let's say, right? So April the 14th. Right here, right? Bitcoin has gone up by 60%, right? Ethereum, since then, has gone up by 160% or 70%, let's say, right? So not only you're making more money on the Bitcoin trade, because Bitcoin's also gone up comparatively to the fiat, you're also making more Bitcoin because Ethereum has also gone up. So it's the same as taking the long on Ethereum, right? Let's say you have let's say you took a 1 million long on Bitcoin and 1 million long on Ethereum, right? You made 160, 170% on Ethereum. On the Bitcoin, you made 60, whatever it is. But on the Ethereum Bitcoin pair, if you did the same amount, 1 million worth of Bitcoin, right? Anyway, simple stuff, right? I'm just trying to min-max the profitability on it. I'm going to say the same thing I said here, which was it's a good place to buy, it's a good place to sell, good place to take profits, maybe look for refills, right? So I've already sold pretty much like 30 something percent of my position at this stage, which is a relatively heavy sell. Because before then I used to probably like close like 5% each, like here and big chunk here. So I pretty much closed almost 50% of my trade already. on the ETH USDT trade. Now on the Bitcoin ETH trade, the other way around, sorry. This trade, I still have like 80% of the trade left. That's how I'm min-maxing it. Because I don't need to overly sell this position. Because all I would need to do is just short Bitcoin or short Ethereum instead. Right? If it starts losing levels, I'll short them instead of closing more of this position, for example. Because I'll make more money on that than on this. If I would, let's say, take profits on it or whatever. Because when there's fear involved and panic involved, the fiat pairs will do the bigger percentile move comparatively. And as traders, all we want is the percentage move, right? Right. Do you not believe in the effectiveness of trading algos? What does that mean? The price action works because I believe in the effectiveness of algos. You get my point? Get what I'm saying? Because not all algos are effective, right? There are ineffective systems out there, right? You can't win against the effective systems because, well, you can, but unless with less probability. But there's more ineffective systems than there is effective systems. And since it's a systems, means you can predict it because it's an A to B scenario, right? A, B, C scenario, right? If it's a system, means it's program. If it's program, means it has a pattern. If it has a pattern, it means it can be sequenced and studied and understood, right? And that's what TA is. Now, the thing is to remove the pattern part because the market is fluid. The system has a pattern, but the market itself does not have a pattern. That's the differentiation. That's what makes a good trader to a great trader. To understanding the difference between how a sequence works and removing the pattern, because your brain is really good at understanding patterns, right? So people look at a chart, right, and then go, this is the previous low, this is the new low, and then they go, well, if it's gaining, it must hold this level, right, before it goes up, which makes sense, right? That makes sense from a pattern point of view. But what if it has a new low, which was here and here? It wouldn't go to that level. the higher probability is it'd probably go to the higher level, which is here. So what would happen is you would miss this trade. Or if it's the low end swing, you would go to the low of the range, which is here. Right? So you're gonna get the ballpark right, right? You're gonna get the general idea correct, but you're not quite gonna get the trade. So one of two things is gonna happen: either you keep missing trades, or the trades keep missing you, meaning that you have a long and then it stops you out and then it pumps, or you have a short and then it stops you out and then it dumps. Right? Either you get front ran or you get back ran. If that happens to you a lot, it means your brain is recognizing the patterns rather than the sequences. Now, you might say patterns and sequences, same stuff. Yes and no. Sequences is determined by the time frame and the timeline, right? In trading, anyway. I'm not talking about the dictionary explanation of a sequence. I'm talking about what it pertains to in terms of trading. Right? A pattern is just whatever the candle is just like buy the higher low. This is a pattern. But where is the higher low? How do you know this is the higher low? How do you know this isn't the higher low? How do you know this isn't the higher low? How do you know it's B rather than A or C? Right? And this is where the nuances come in. Now this is when your brain starts, you start deleting the pattern recognition from your brain and start looking at it from a sequential point of view. That's why whenever I say, when you ever look at a new chart, you always start from the bottom or the top. And then you'd go, okay, what is the level that took you down to that? Where is the local level that took you down? Where is the local level? Where is the retest that took you up? Because these are the points of influence. These are points of interest, right? We talked about this here, right? Because this was the level that took us down and made new lows. So for us to pump, we need to first A, close above and gain above it. It did it once here, and it did do it. It made some money. And then what did it do? It made a new low, and then it did it again. And you made money again. Right? So it will do it again. That's what I mean by a pattern. But you need to understand what it is, not where it is. Because where it is going to be different. It's still fucking going, dude. Definitely one of the most disgusting trades I've ever took. Fucking Spotify, dude. Excuse me. Hell of a trade. I still have the my long is from like 80 something, so I still have that. Let me check. Yeah, still have it. Still running. Yeah, the sort of Spotify trade currently up. Well, not currently, but was up like 800 something percent. Currently up 750. Sorry, no, 720. At least that's 666. Still, very good trade from a couple years back. Like always, there's a chart for it in the Discord from when I posted it. Discord open in 14 minutes. Yeah. Have you ever done any pair trading? What do you mean by that? Buying and selling low assets that has had historical correlation. Probably, but not that I remember. Oh, two assets. I had a historical correlation. Well, I mean, we do that every day with Bitcoin and Ethereum, or Bitcoin and any other shitcoin. But buying the influence, sells all the other. So, sort of like hedging on the same asset, or the same play, I guess. Not the same asset. But what used to be the case was Bitcoin, if you were to short something, you would short Ethereum, right? Because Ethereum used to move, let's say 7-8% if it dumps, and Bitcoin used to move 4 or 3 or 2%. So if you shorted Ethereum during when there's fear involved, Ethereum used to move much more compared to Bitcoin. Plus, you used to get much better rates of funding on Ethereum than you had on Bitcoin. So yeah, doing that for years. Do you know buying SPX on Monday or selling on Friday has a cool story, bro? Since following and improving my trades, I've paid off all my student loans and even gotten house down payment ready. Nice. If true, great job, dude. And that's more you applying yourself than anything to do with me, right? I'd be raining down, information for everyone in the world, but some people just be holding umbrellas, right? Some people, soaking in that rain. Some people holding umbrellas. So do I have a chart on hymns? The last trade on hymns was, I believe, a short. Yeah. Hymns and hers, right? And then since then we haven't really done anything because before that there was the long, which was I think around like May, April, May. Let me check the Discord. Yeah, the average entry point was 26. 26, yeah. Yeah. So it was in April, and then that long turned into a short, and then since then I haven't really looked at it. So it was a good trade. I think I got stopped out in profit around here in around June, so like a month ago. April, May, June, 3 months. It was a good earner. I think it was like 57 or 58 points average on it. I know we did like 130, but obviously we took profits throughout the move. So I think I made like 64 or something like that in average on this trade. I don't have the trade anymore though. I've already been stopped out in profit. Just remembering top of my head what I made. I could be off by, a couple of points. Probably a couple of percent. In my country, there's a huge gamble problem under the young people, so 18 to 28. Isn't that the issue in every country? Maybe in your country it's a lot more accessible, but majority of the people who gamble to be around that age anyway. Any new trades? What are the unemployment figures like? Excuse me, in your country? That's the another reason people who are like young used to tend to gamble. Any new trades this week? Um, this wasn't this week. This was a couple weeks ago. No, is a simple answer. That was like a couple weeks ago, which was the most recent one, I think. Yeah. Other than that, we've just been chilling on our, trades from a couple of months ago. In the legacy markets, anyway. In the crypto stuff, there was that short. There was our long from Friday stream. We talked about this long, literally when we were here. And then it was the same thing on Ethereum as well, obviously, and same thing on Bitcoin, XRP. But XRP didn't do as much comparatively. Is it true in the UK that you guys need to provide ID for basically everything that's age restricted online? Mm, yes and no. For certain age restricted stuff, yes, like porn and stuff like that. Um, not all age restricted stuff. The only issue that I have with that sort of stuff is, I'm not even against the restrictions per se. I'm just against the idea of giving out details to just random corporations. But rather they be like a third party government place where um, yeah, yeah, I don't disagree. Fraggle. That's also true, but you know, it is what it is. So everyone, I think, voted for it because they used kids, right? They were like, oh, it's helpful for kids, whatever. That's not what it is. It's just helpful for companies to keep an eye on people because information is power. It's not that hard to set up parental locks in your in your thing. And then again, even if you don't do that, dude, like, are you saying that kids can't access porn now? Like, really? Have you met these kids? They're like 10 times smarter than their parents when it comes to technology, anyway. Isn't that covered by GDPR? It is, but like, do you think corporations care about GDPR, dude? People who don't know what GDPR did the protection laws. So, meaning that any corporation, any firm, any kind has a legal duty. They are duty bound to protect the data that they store for people, the public. But yeah, no.